All right, we're live. They can't.
Welcome to the Inventables Hardware Live event. I'm Zach Kaplan, the founder and CEO of Inventables, and today we have some really exciting news to share with you. We're going to be sharing some updates on XCarve Pro, as well as announcing availability of some new upgrades to the XCarve. These live events will be nothing without our community. You guys, we really appreciate you tuning in, and we're so glad to see so many watching in the live events and the replays. Over the last year, Inventables has gone through some incredible growth, all with the goal of empowering you to build a successful business. We've been hard at work to deliver on this promise, both at the entry-level machines and production level, and with new additions to our easel software. Today, you're going to hear from Andrew Decanier, our Director of Product. He's going to give us some updates on the XCarve Pro and the first batch of XCarve Pros that have actually arrived in customers' hands. We're even going to hear from one customer who has received their unit. We're also going to hear from Luke Wilson, our new Senior Product Manager on the XCarve. He's going to give us an update on the XCarve Upgrade launch of the kit. Now, let's kick it over to Brandon Cullum, our Community Manager, to get things started. Brandon.
Hey, what is up, guys? We are super excited to be chatting with lots of fun upgrades for you. So that you know, we really love doing these live streams because obviously we're live, so there's about 300 folks of you right now. And so in the chat, if you can just let us know where you are watching in from. I'm trying to right now see who's the furthest, and I think Willie from Rustenburg, South Africa might be winning right now. But yeah, so as we are going, be sure and ask any questions that you've got, and we will make sure and answer those at the end. We're going to have time for a Q&A. This format, if you guys haven't seen our live events in the past, or if you have, this one's going to be a little looser. We're just going to be having more of a conversation about some really fun updates. But you might be able to hear them already, and Zach has already introduced everybody. But you can see that we've got everybody in here. Now Andrew's in there as well. Andrew is right up there. We've got Zach right there. You've got Luke down there. This is really hard, like backwards. And then you've got Nate down on the other side, and we're going to be chatting with Nate. He has one of our first XCarve Pro products, or machines, and he's been doing some really cool stuff. So we are going to jump into it. But Andrew, we're going to pull you up first to talk all about XCarve Pro. And for people that maybe are new to the conversation or kind of new to the XCarve Pro, I thought it'd be fun to kind of go back in time and walk them through what kind of the product development process was like. So what was the initial idea behind wanting to develop a new machine?
Yeah, the XCarve Pro is really the product of years of research and talking with customers. At Inventables, we take great pride in talking with you, our customers, and learning about your pain points and everything. And three of the main things that stuck out over the years were customers wanted to increase their throughput, make things faster. They wanted to be able to cut full 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of plywood, and they also wanted it to just be easy to use. So this image you're seeing here is a very, very early prototype of one of the first iterations of what is now the XCarve Pro. You can see it's basically just a bunch of different extrusions, but still trying to go for that spirit of a larger machine bed with the 4x4. Since then, obviously, we've made some significant changes and really designed this product from the ground up to be a production and reliable workhorse for you. You can see there's a rendering of the existing version, and then I think, yeah. the look and feel of it and everything.
Yeah, and so I knew you were telling me once we actually started getting these units out before they were for sale that we were getting feedback from kind of early testers. And you mentioned there were a couple changes, right, that we have made along the way?
Yeah, two of the most significant changes that we've made since we had the pre-order launch back in October of 2020 was on the spindle and on the wasteboard and work holding. So the spindle, we actually changed it from an ER11 to an ER16 spindle. So that'll actually give you the capability to have larger diameter tools up to 3/8 of an inch. And on the wasteboard, we created a T-slot hybrid design. So it's T-slots and MDF. It's a custom designed component that fastens directly to the machine frame itself to allow customers, limitless ways to carve or to hold down their pieces.
Yeah. So if you just imagine T-track going down that wasteboard, that's coming soon. So it was also neat to hear stories of when you guys actually got it into our office and you guys started putting together. And I think you said this was like the very first time you guys got hands on with it. What was that kind of like first experience like once you guys actually got to see it in real life?
Yeah, developing a product, especially one this big during a pandemic, is obviously got lots of challenges. Yeah. You can see, us wearing our masks and everything. I think this is right at the beginning, right in the heart of it. This is one of the first prototypes that we ever received, and it was a giant crate of a whole bunch of parts. You had to figure out what was what, where all these things went. It was a little bit crazy, but since then we've obviously made some very significant improvements in the end user assembly process and packaging itself. I think we got some images to show later. And the nice thing about what we've done here is, thinking about getting up to speed quickly and making the product super easy to use and put together, is we actually designed the packaging in a way that you can just take components out as you're ready to put them together. You don't have to take the entire thing out. It arrives in one big box. You don't have to put it all over your workshop or anything. It's ready to go, as you're going through the assembly process.
Yeah, it was really cool to see the packaging because you guys had sent me an early unit so we could do some video stuff, and it came in just a massive box. It's actually still like in my driveway. I need to get rid of it. It's like this massive crate. But,
sorry about that.
No, it's fine. We use it for like a playpen for my kid. But it was also neat too because when we first put out some images that these were shipping, I think it was just like maybe 3 or 4 that were in the shot that I think we posted, and folks were like, you only have like 4 that are going out. And so it's been fun to see like just the factory images of just like tons and tons of machines that are getting put together. But yeah, it's been really cool for these to get out. What's it been like once we actually were able to ship these? What was this like specifically for you to actually get these into paid customers' hands?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. We've been talking with a lot of customers. One of them's one of the earliest customers on us in a little bit, Nate, and getting feedback on the process, making little tweaks to the assembly instructions here and there based on customer feedback. It's been phenomenal to see people use this after years of development and an eagerness to get in people's hands.
Yeah. How many people have them right now? I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't.
Yeah, no, it's a little over 100
cool.
Customers who have had their units shipped out. We have, we're continuing to get more. We're actually shipping them by air to catch up because of the pandemic and all the challenges with that. Customers have waited long enough for this. We didn't want them to wait another 3 months for it to sit on the ocean. Right.
And hopefully we don't have another canal getting blocked by a massive ship, which is crazy. But we are real excited because we definitely have some people that have these units actually in their workspaces. And so we're going to be chatting with Nate. And so Nate, I'm going to pull you up, who is right over there. And thank you so much for jumping on and for chatting with us. And you are actually inside, I think you said, of your shop, and you've got the XCarve Pro right there behind you. But thank you so much for jumping on. To give people kind of a little bit of a context of you and your experience on the CNC side, like how did you get into doing CNC stuff before kind of going into the XCarve Pro world?
Sure. So prior to my becoming Makerneer, I was a senior project engineer at an aerospace company. So I got to see all these cool tools around me every day, and really just that hands-on experience led me to want all my own tools and make my own awesome stuff.
Yeah. And it was neat because...
So,
sorry, go ahead.
I started with 3D printing and then moved into CNC shortly after that, and one thing led to another. Here we are with the XCarve Pro.
Yeah, and you built your first CNC, is that right?
I did, yes, that's correct.
That's cool. And it was neat on our end because I think yours was probably one of the first images we saw of a customer with a box. And we've always been trying to figure out, like, what's a great way to show the scale. And I mean, you nailed it for us. So you just blew away our marketing department with just laying next to it with your truck. But then it was cool to kind of follow you through the assembly process in the workspace that you got for it, as well as getting the full thing together. But I've got the time lapse of you actually putting this out. I encourage you guys to check out Nate's YouTube channel. But what was kind of the assembly like for you and actually getting this machine put together?
The assembly went surprisingly smooth. So the other machine I have to compare it against is a Modix 120X 3D printer. Yeah, the packaging, like was mentioned earlier, being able to just pull that up to the shed and unload it was huge. And then the instructions were fantastic. I really liked the video. And there were pictures if you had questions that the video didn't answer. So
yeah.
Overall, it went together really well. I think the one place where I deviated from the instructions was with the gantry. And since it was pretty heavy, we brought it in and then laid it down before setting it into place and putting it up.
Gotcha. Yeah,
that worked pretty well.
Yeah, it was really neat to see you put it together. What are some of the products that you are looking to put together with it? And this is a video I was going to throw up of you, I think, planning the wasteboard when you first got it set up.
Yeah. So just playing around with the machine because you had it and you needed to cut something. So I made myself a nice sign to go in the shed here, and that was easel. That was actually my first time really using easel. It was cool. I drug my SVG and my logo in, and then added some text, and entered the parameters of the bit and the material, and then boom, I was carving. It was cool.
Yeah, it was neat because you said you designed all of that like directly inside of easel. Is that right?
Yes.
That's cool. And it was it was neat to see just actually people creating for real products with the machine. So we've been doing a lot of stuff in the office, but to actually see you putting those together. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to making in the future?
So one of the really cool things that I'm excited about, I'm going to show you this. I've got this amazing piece of spalted birch, and I'm planning to turn that into a bench similar to I did with some red alder.
Gotcha.
There'll be some custom carving and engraving on that I'm looking forward to, and it's going to be cool. I'm really excited.
Yeah. We can't wait to see all the stuff that you make and how you're able to grow your business. But we appreciate you jumping on, taking the time, calling in from across the country, at least from me. And so we can't wait to follow along with you guys. And if you guys have not checked Nate out, again, this was his Instagram. Check him out on Instagram, your website, and YouTube. Is that right?
Yes, you got it there. Thank you.
Perfect. Good stuff. Well, sweet. Well, Andrew, we have customers that have them, but other people can also have them as well. So do you want to let folks know about what's going on right now?
Yeah, we have a promotion still going on for $99.95 on the 4x4. We decided to actually hold at that pricing. We were originally going to increase it, but we decided to hold on that until we're at a point where we're doing same-day shipping with obviously all the constraints of the pandemic. We want customers to get these as soon as possible, not have to wait for so long. So we're going to continue holding at this price until we're at a point where we can start shipping these out same day to customers. Yeah.
So you guys can see right there that it is $2,000 off the 4x4, and then it is $1,500 off off for the 4x2, or as we like to say, up to 2,000 on the XCarve Pro. But well, thank you so much, Andrew, for jumping on. And if you have questions specific to the XCarve Pro, like I said, we've been seeing you in the chat. Make sure and drop them in there, and then we will get to them at the end if you guys have any specifics. Also, tomorrow we're going to be doing a live stream, kind of a demo walkthrough. We've been doing those each week. Over on YouTube, I'll be walking through the machine I've got here. And so if you have specific questions or just want to see it more up close and kind of go through some of the different details and see it carving, we'll be doing those as well. So there is a link already in the YouTube description that should take you there. But also, if you just go to our website, you'll see there's a pop-up at the top or a bar at the top that should let you guys know that that he is good to go. So cool stuff. Well, we are now going to talk about something that a lot of you guys have been talking about in the chat, and to introduce it is going to be myself with a video, and then we'll get into it in a sec.
What is up? I am Brandon, the Community and Training Manager here at Inventables, and in this video, we're going to walk through our brand new upgrade kit for the XCarve. So we are really excited about this upgrade kit because when you take all of these upgrades together, you are going to get a stiffer machine that gives you way more capability than what you could do before. So we're actually seeing speed improvements that are at least 3 times what you could do before with a standard X-Carve that is using a standard straight end mill. But depending on your cut settings and your bit, we've seen speed improvements that are even more than that. And then also with this machine, you're going to get increased accuracy, so you're going to be less likely to skip steps with the stepper motors. So even though you're running it quicker, you're still going to have it just as accurate, if not more accurate, than what was happening before. And then also, you probably can see that this gantry is actually lifted up, meaning that you're going to be able to carve thicker material than what you could before. So a quick overview of what actually comes with the kit. You're going to get stronger belts. You're going to get upgraded stepper motors, which are going to give you higher torque. And the most obvious is probably this big Z-axis assembly, which we'll get to here in a second. And then also you're going to get these risers that are going to bring the entire gantry up. And then lastly, you're going to get these stiffeners, which run along the Y1 and the Y2 axis. So let's first talk about the belt kit. So you're gonna get thicker belts, but then you're also going to get thicker idlers as well as clips and sleeves so that you can attach these belts to the different axes. And then it's gonna come with bigger stepper motors. So the belts themselves are going from 6 millimeters on the standard X-Carve up to 9 millimeters. And they're also going to be thicker. So they're going from 2 GT to 3 GT. But basically all that means is they're gonna be 50% wider as well as thicker than our standard setup. Now the upgraded stepper motors are gonna give you 50% more torque versus our standard setup. So the belt kit is gonna give you 2 big benefits, and that is first, an increased torque capability, as well as an increased load carrying capability. And what that means for carving is you're gonna be way less likely to skip any steps with the belts as this is carving. Also, you'll be able to run this at higher speeds because it's gonna be able to handle the loads. And then you're gonna be able to run your machine faster as well as deeper for your cuts. So you're gonna have more material removal rate because the machine itself is a lot more rigid. And then lastly, the belts are gonna last longer and then be less likely to break on you just because they are stiffer and thicker. So this Z-axis is probably what caught your attention first because this thing is a beast. So the Z-axis is made from one solid piece of aluminum that has these linear rails on both sides of a lead screw right here in the middle. Now, this is a pretty big upgrade compared to the V-wheel configuration that we have on our standard X-Carve. And then it also comes with the upgraded stepper motor that is the same that you're gonna get with the belt kit. So these might look pretty similar to the upgrades from TBD CNC, which is Luke Wilson. And Luke is actually part of the Inventables team. He redid his actual Z-axis assembly, and this is actually 66% thicker than what he was providing before. So this is even a beefier upgrade than what he might have seen in the past from TBD CNC. Now, the benefits of the Z-axis itself is going to give you a lot more rigidity as well as ability to carve faster and deeper on your X-Carve. And it's also going to give you an additional 2 inches of height on the Z-axis. Now, since this is a direct drive configuration, you're going to have increased reliability as well as accuracy with your cutting as well. And then overall, the upkeep on your Z-axis is going to be a lot less than the stock. So this right out of the box is already very rigid and very square, so you're not going to have to do too many tweaks to it throughout the time that you're going to be carving. So these risers slash end plates will replace what comes with our stock X-Carve, and these will add an additional 2 inches of clearance to your gantry. So you're gonna go from 2.5 inches for your clearance to 4.5 inches. And then the stiffeners run the entire length of your Y1 and your Y2 axis. And these are great because it's going to limit the amount of dust and debris that actually gets outside of your machine. Less stuff is gonna get into your X controller, as well as a lot less stuff can get into your V-wheels and your pulley because you have these guards in place. Now, in addition to these risers being taller, they actually have this L shape or reversed L shape. So when you actually have your dust shoe assembly in place, it won't get in the way when you zero your machine. So even if you push this all the way to the very front home position, you've got plenty of clearance there. Also with tiling, you'll have that same benefit. You won't have these end plates getting in the way of your material on the sides. So it's flush with the actual side of your workbed. So that will increase the maximum material width that you can pass through from 34.75 inches on our stock X-Carve to 37 inches. Not only do these help keep the dust and the shavings inside your workbed, they also stiffen the entire Y1 and Y2 axis. Another great thing is this is definitely made in America. We've got our risers are from Wisconsin, our stiffeners are from Chicago, and the entire Z-axis assembly is also assembled in Chicago. And finally, all of these upgrades are totally reversible. And the upgrades themselves don't take a ton of time. This is just a few bolts on the back end, and this entire thing bolts into place, and then you drop in your router. And the belts will take a little bit more time. You'll have to replace the idlers, as well as you'll have to retighten the thicker belts. But overall, it will not take very long to switch everything out. So if you're looking for more information or links to purchase, you can find it right here on this page. Encourage you guys to check this out or reach out to us if you have any questions whatsoever about the upgrade kit. So we are excited about this upgrade kit. We know this is going to help you make better products and make them faster so that you can build your business.
All right, so we are very excited because you guys are going to be getting a lot more details about the upgrade kit. Luke, I called you the father of this the other day, so thanks for jumping on. You guys, I was telling him before we were going live that Luke was already in the chat, his name as well as TBD CNC. You guys might know Luke from that, but for folks that don't know, can you give folks kind of a little bit of your background? Because this is not your first rodeo with CNCs with Inventables.
Yeah, so I bought an X-Carve in 2017 or 2018, and started playing around with making signs, and started heading down the path of kind of maybe a woodworking business. And as part of that, I made some upgrades for myself for the machine, posted pictures of them on Facebook, and people started wanting them for themselves. So one thing led to another, and started developing and selling upgrades for the X-Carve. Fast forward a couple years, and I quit my job and ran the business full time. Did that for a year and a half, and then I got a phone call from Zach one day, and we decided to see if we could, do even better together.
Yeah, and so that was earlier this year. You guys might have saw, so Zach joined the team, but you have been selling upgrades in the past, and I think you were saying these were some of the very first ones you did. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's probably the second set of upgrades I ever made there. Yeah. And then, it's an old picture.
Yeah, and you said this was the older Z-axis that you had put together.
Yeah, so that's the TBD CNC Z-axis. I really like that picture because it's just really pretty. But that was the peak TBD CNC Z-axis that we kind of started with.
Yeah, cool. So we'll get into all the details on what's in it and kind of what it can do. But if you guys wanted to see, you can see right here. So you've got the Z-axis upgrade, you've got the stiffeners, that's at the bottom right. The risers are kind of in the middle on the top, and then the belts. And then you have to get, and you also get upgraded stepper motors as well as a bunch of attachments to make them work. But it was really neat because I was getting to put this together on the X-Carve I have here, and I had some of your upgrades before that you had sent me from like way before, and it was neat, especially with the Z-axis. I was like, this is a lot different. And so you were saying the Z-axis actually, it's thicker than that picture we had just shown. Is that right?
Yeah, so we when I joined Inventables, we kind of had a decision to make. Do we take exactly what TBD-CNC had been doing and push that forward, or do we take a step back and kind of redesign everything, utilize the resources that Inventables has to fix some of the little problems that we had at TBD-CNC? And so we decided to go that second route and redesigned everything from the ground up. So this Z is, it's born out of the legacy of the TBD-CNC Z, but it's a ground up redesign built on a custom extrusion that's 66% thicker walled than the extrusion that we were using at TBD-CNC. It's a pretty massive improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to pull up. Yeah, there's a couple of their pictures, and you can see it with the desk collection attached as well. So there are, we think, a few reasons. If you guys are thinking through, I've seen a lot of folks already in the chat. Like, why would you want to get this upgrade? But you were saying just on the reliability that the belts seem to be a pretty big improvement, and you had sent me this video. And can you let people kind of know what's going on? I'm actually pause it real quick. But what's going on right here?
Yep. So this is, I'm lifting 3 cinder blocks using a strand of the stock XCarve belting. So honestly, I was pretty impressed. 3 cinder blocks is a lot of weight. And we were able to lift that with just 1 strand of the stock belting.
If you guys know, Luke is you're in Kentucky, is that right? And you said this is what we're doing over the weekend. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah, it makes total sense here. My neighbors don't even slow down when they go past.
I would love to be your neighbor to see what's going on. But then you sent over this one, and so this was the new belt, right?
Yep. So this is, again, a single strand of the new 9mm XCarve belting, and that's 11 cinder blocks. This just absolutely blew me away.
Yeah. So we say it's 50% wider and 50% thicker, and you might be like, all right, big deal. But you can actually see it makes a pretty big difference in terms of.
Yeah, it's at least 3 times stronger.
Yeah, yeah. What about the stiffeners? That was a new piece, especially for me. How are they helping with the machine?
Yeah. So these connect the y-axis rails to the base of the machine, so they just prevent flex in those rails. And in this case, we've redesigned them to also act as dust shields. So they keep all of the shavings inside the work area of the machine and make cleanup really easy. But their main purpose is really to increase the rigidity of that y-axis rail.
That's cool. Yeah, and then obviously one of the biggest upgrades is that Z-axis that's going to help with the reliability. There was a comparison. I'm going to throw that up real quick. If you guys are interested to see the difference between the standard and the upgrade, we're going to let this loop. But can you kind of describe, because you set this up on your end, kind of what's going on here?
Yeah. So on the left is a stock machine, and on the right is the upgraded machine that's behind me here. So I did the same carve on both machines, and you can see that the upgraded machine with all the upgrades, it's around half the carve time. It's 3 times the material removal rate, which is not a direct correlation to carve time. The higher your material removal rate, the shorter your carve times will be, but tripling doesn't cut the carve time in third. But yeah, so it's on average about 50%. Of the carve time with the upgrades. So really you can make twice as much stuff in the same amount of time. Yeah,
and that's what we think is really cool, especially for you guys that are using these machines to build a business. If you're just thinking through, like, you're able to crank through more products, this is going to be a really big benefit for you, because you can see this obviously isn't 14 seconds and 7 seconds. That would be amazing. But these are minutes, but still that's a pretty big time improvement. And you were telling me too that even if you were running both these machines at the same feed rate, the upgraded, you're still going to get a cleaner, you'll have a better performance overall. Is that right?
Yeah, the carves that come off the upgraded machine just look nicer. They're always very clean, and the Z-axis being as rigid and being direct drive like it is really contributes to that significantly. But yeah, if you were to run the upgraded machine at the same feed rates that you've been running your XCarve at, you would still see huge improvements in the carve quality. Yeah. So we've got increased reliability, and we've got increased removal rates, but then probably the most obvious is these risers. And so they are going from, they raise the whole machine up, is it 2 inches? Yep. Yeah, so it makes the machine 2 inches taller. These risers are are powder coated steel. They're about twice as thick as the stock risers or the stock front plates. But they give you that extra 2 inches of clearance, which opens the door to different work holding solutions and thicker materials.
Yeah.
So it really expands. I mean, it almost doubles the volume that you can carve within the machine.
Yeah, and it goes from like a total gantry height from 2.5 inches on the standard, and so then up to 4.5. If you guys are interested, but yeah,
so
go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that means that you can carve in new materials like 4x4 lumber from the hardware store, and then it opens up room for things like a vise, or I have a vacuum clamp that I use. That extra clearance comes in handy all the time.
Yeah. So in addition to carving thicker stuff then, and speaking of your vacuum clamp, you can also carve harder stuff and it performs better. So this was aluminum, right? And that's that vacuum clamp that you're talking about?
Yeah. So yeah, this is a piece of aluminum. It's actually leftover aluminum from the TBD CNC days, but I'm carving the Inventables logo here. This is one of the things that I really enjoy is carving metal. So these upgrades really make that something that's significantly easier than it was before.
That's fun. It's like the logo is it's like the phoenix, like coming from the ashes of TBD.
That's right.
It's good. I didn't know that's what that was coming from. But yeah, this is these upgrades, like we said, these are pretty cool. Let me throw this image back up so you guys can see kind of the full look at them. But one thing too, actually going back to the height piece, was I had to do like a bunch of wooden boxes, and when I had to do it with the old XCarve, like I basically had to disassemble all of them and then reassemble it. But now looking at this, I'm like, man, that would have been way easier because I could have just put them right in and not having to worry about all of that. So you're also going to save time potentially with that stuff too, in addition to being able to carve harder stuff. Cool. So yeah, we're real excited about all of these upgrades, and we encourage you guys to check them out. You guys can see that hopefully this is going to help you also build your business, because that's really what we're trying to help you guys do. Not just make cool stuff, but hopefully sell it and make a profit from it. So like we said, whether it's increased reliability, you're going to be able to do a higher removal rate, so you're going to carve things faster. You're going to get you will get a better finished product, and then you can just do stuff you couldn't before. So really thick products, really thick cutting boards, or those boxes, or those 4x4 posts, and then you can get into doing some metal stuff too, which is just wild. But several people have guessed, and I think several people have asked. Probably the number one question is, how much is it? So it is $4.99, and that is for the bundle. So all of those pieces put together. And either it's live right now or it will be very, very soon. You guys can see this is the website, and you guys can actually go in and purchase today. But you said, I think as of like pretty recently, there were some shipping updates you wanted to announce too, right?
Yeah, so we have enabled USPS first class shipping on the Inventables website. So purchases on things like bits and small items, you're going to see a significant cost savings there. One of the big ones is brushes. We have the TBD CNC brush are live on the Inventables website, and we'll ship USPS first class now. So yeah, those are available again.
That's awesome. Yeah, I misspoke. So yeah, this is live right now. So if you guys go to inventables.com/upgrade, then you can jump into that. So yeah, we've got USPS, which is rocking and rolling. But before we kind of jump into the Q&A, this was something we wanted to show, because now we have three different products that are currently out there. And so I just paused the video. But if you wanted to see kind of a difference, you saw between the standard and then the upgrade. But then if we throw the Pro on there to kind of give you guys perspective, this is that same Inventables logo, but this is in this is 3/4 cherry. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So if we let it run, you guys can kind of see what the difference is. And the bottom one that actually Zach, you heard from at the very beginning, he was carving that I think last night. So it's a pretty big difference across the board when you guys see, when you're going from 14 minutes on the XCarve to 9 minutes on the upgraded unit to 3.5 on the Pro. But what's a good way for people to think about just improvements to timing? Because I know it gets kind of hard depending on the materials we're talking about, like what types of cuts you're doing. Like how do you kind of think of it, and what's a good way for people to wrap their hands or their minds around it?
Yeah, so material removal rate is the most important number as far as the speed of the machine goes. And basically what material removal rate is the volume of material that your machine's carving away per second or per minute. And so the upgrades generally about 3 times material removal rate, but that's kind of the speed limit. That's the 75 miles per hour on the highway. You're not doing that the whole trip. So your machine does a lot of other things, and so increasing your material removal rate doesn't directly. If you double your material removal rate, you don't have half the carve time, like we talked about earlier. So, but material removal rate is really the peak. It's the measurement of what the machine's doing at its peak.
Yeah, and we'll actually throw this test on our YouTube channel, and then we'll have like all the details. I know folks are asking about feed rates and depths of cut there if you guys want to get in specifics, as well as this actual file if you want to run it on your end. But just so when you're looking at it, know, I'll run it again, that the Pro was running at the full depth of cut, which was 1/2 inch, and then I believe the upgraded unit was at 0.12 inch, and then the stock was at 0.06. So, so yeah, the depth of cut makes a big difference on your overall time as well. Well, cool. Well, we are really excited, like we said, about all the things that we have coming out for you, and I believe we're going to open it up to questions, and a few that we knew we would probably get, especially since a lot of you guys know Luke and you know TBD-CNC. There's potential you might have one of the upgrades or the other. So kind of how does that work, Luke?
Yeah, so we, all of our testing, all of our performance gains, our cut settings are all based on having the complete set of upgrades. But there are people that had just bought a belt kit, for example, from TBD-CNC right before we were acquired. So we obviously want to take care of those people. So we have 2 individual kits available. We're selling the belt kit individually, and we're selling the Z-axis riser stiffener kit individually to help those people out. So yeah, if you already have some of the TBD-CNC upgrades, we could figure out how to get exactly what you need.
And you said overall this is, you said 20% cheaper, is that right? Versus what?
Yeah, it's just about 20% cheaper. So this same set of upgrades from TBD-CNC would have been $614, and we're offering it for $499. So, and that's really what in the earliest conversations that I had with Zach, that's what we set out to do, was to make these even more accessible to people. And so I'm really proud of of what we've been able to accomplish in this short time to make these a better set of upgrades for less money.
Cool. And then also the parts, you were making those open source.
Yeah, so there, if you have TBD-CNC, TBD-CNC Z-axis, for example, there's a few 3D printed parts, and sometimes those break. We've released all of the files for those on the Inventables GrabCAD workbench. So those are open source, so you'll have the ability to make those parts yourself.
Cool. And then another one we knew we'd probably run into, and a few of you guys I think have already asked it, is what if this is great, but I don't even own an XCarve. So how would that work?
Yeah. So right now we're releasing the upgrade bundle, but stay tuned. Later this year there'll be another announcement. So
stay tuned, guys. Whenever we go live, things happen. So just jump on. You never know what's going to go down. Okay, yep. So we said, we have lots of questions. Encourage you guys, do @ Inventables in the chat. It's easier for us to kind of filter through and see them as well. But we'll jump right into this. So first one is this is coming from Kevin. And actually, Andrew, this is for you. He's asking for XCarve Pro and availability outside of the United States.
Yeah, we're actually currently working on that as we speak. The EU and other areas down in the United States have a lot of different electrical requirements, so some minor changes need to be made to the whole system. It needs to go through regulatory approval and all that. We should have a better idea of timing for that later this year, and we'll definitely have an announcement for when we're ready to do that.
Cool. Papa Workshop, he was asking, so the stepper motors on the upgrades.
Yep, so they are NEMA 23, 212 ounce inch, 213 ounce inch, I think. They're 50%, they're just over 50% improvement from the stock stepper motors. So they get you everything that you need, and they're a little bit lighter than a lot of the aftermarket stepper motor options.
Cool. Lots of questions, so I'm trying to go quick, guys. So let's see, we got Phil Hanber. Sorry if I say that wrong. Yeah, but he's asking when will the upgrade ship if they were to order today?
Yep. So if you place your order today, the 9mm belt and motor kits are going to start shipping 6/7, so that's Monday of next week. Even if you order the bundle kit, you're going to get your belt kit as soon as possible. The Z-axis kits will start shipping the week of 6/28, so around the end of this month.
Cool. Okay, so a couple folks also have asked, they might have one of our older 500 or 750mm versions. Could you use the upgraded kit on those?
Yep. So you can. The only thing that poses any kind of issue is the stiffeners, because they run the whole length of the machine, but we design 250mm increments. So if you have a 750, you just do 3 per side. If you have a 500, you just do 2 per side. So they are fully compatible with all X-Carves.
Cool. Yeah, so we got, let's see, some more questions. Let me check real quick. This is from Wooden Brew, is asking if they use a firm for the payment option, can they use that for the XCarve Pro? I'll throw that to anybody.
Yes.
Yes. Yes is the answer. Yeah, if you guys go to the website, you can see that full approval process. Okay, so the assembly time, Luke, on the upgrades.
Yep. So a conservative estimate is 2.5 hours to do the full set of upgrades. Most of that time's in the belt kit. The risers and stiffeners and Z-axis are pretty easy to install. But if you built your XCarve, you're going to be pretty familiar with how to do these upgrades. There's nothing that really requires anything crazy. So it's pretty accessible, and yeah, it's a couple hours and you'll be up and running.
Yep. And then I'll throw this one up. Sorry, I wasn't able to get some of you guys others up there. So the link for the upgrade, let me throw that back up so you guys can see it. Let me go over here real quick. Sorry. So yeah, inventables.com/upgrade, and you guys are able to check that out. Let's see, looking through any other questions real quick. I think we got a few more minutes before we get towards the end. Also, if you guys have questions, Nate is here as well. Sorry, I think I had him off for a second. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Lots of questions actually are... Let me see. Just in general we're getting a lot of questions about delivery on XCarve Pro. Andrew, you can get your estimated delivery, right, if you go through the website?
Not quite yet. So we're still, as I mentioned earlier, we're still shipping things over by air when available. With everything going on with shipping globally, we're getting as many on a plane as possible, but those values ship from day to day. So generally, we're looking to, targeting hopefully August for when we're going to be at same day shipping. And then obviously anybody who ordered earlier than that, you'll get it much sooner, of course. We are starting to send out email updates to all the groups of folks who have ordered on somewhat of a weekly basis. So if you haven't gotten an email yet, stay tuned. We'll be sending those out shortly.
Cool. This was a good one as well. You guys, I think, saw it, but Luke, does the prior dust control system fit the new Z-axis?
Yep. Yeah. So we've got the rails in the side of the Z. They're right into the main extrusion. So your dust shoe Inventables dust collection system fits right on.
Yeah, and let me put this video up so you can see. It might be a little bit easier to see, but you can see there's no, it's pretty much flush right there at the edge of the that MDF workbed. So even if it was sticking out, you're still going to be good to go. And that also means you can put larger material on. Is that right?
Yeah. So anything that fits between the front plates fits on the machine for tiling and to really push to the maximum size. So it's 37 inches between those two front plates. So anything 37 inches or less will fit to be passed through the machine.
Cool. Okay, so then also, let's see, Sir Joel, I can't talk, says, do you have to recalibrate anything after you install the upgrades?
Yep. So there are some recalibrations. They're really easy. and we walk through how to do it in the instructions. And then in the future, it'll be a default option in easel.
Cool. Also, we have some specific easel questions relating to the upgrades, basically the cut settings. How did those work kind of with the stock settings that are in there currently?
Yeah, so we will have a set of default cut settings for the complete upgrade package in the near future, integrated into easel. So you'll be able to select that you have an upgraded XCarve and just go to work.
Cool. This one I actually don't know the answer. Matthias is asking, does the upgrade work with the original XCarve with the Arduino stepper controller card?
Yeah, I believe that it should. The risers will bolt on no problem. The stiffeners will bolt on no problem. The belts will bolt on. The only question I would have is if there's enough wire to reach up to the Z. But I believe the answer is yes, and we could definitely make it happen.
Cool. XCarve Pro question, Brandon E is asking, is there a recommended dust collection system for the XCarve Pro?
So the XCarve Pro actually comes with one. It comes with the dust shoe, the whole hose and everything. It actually has an attachment to attach to any standard shop vac. So if you have, I just have a normal, I don't know where, it's around here somewhere. I just have a rigid shop vac. It all connects to that, but that's all included in the XCarve Pro.
Yeah, you guys can see that's what that looks like, and it attaches. It's super cool how it drops in there. Yeah, mine's also just plugged directly into my shop vac, which is a lot of fun. But then you can also step it up and put it into like a big, like a cyclone dust collector. If you guys have like a full woodworking shop. Cool. Well, guys,
yeah, I've got a cyclone under my bench.
Oh, sweet. Do you have it hooked up to a shop vac?
I do.
Just okay, gotcha. Which is more than capable with what it's putting out. Let's see.
Did you need a fitting to get it from the hose size to the cyclone?
No, it fit my 1.25 inch pipe just fine.
Cool.
I can show you. I mean, it's very.
Yeah, so it just drops right in. It's super easy. Well, cool, guys. Well, we appreciate all of you jumping on and chatting with us. We have lots of really fun updates for you moving on later this year. And so be sure and tune in. Like we said, if you guys want to get a demo of the XCarve Pro, we'll be doing a walkthrough tomorrow afternoon. There's a link on our website. You guys can check it out there. But until then, we will see you very soon. So I hope you guys are doing well, and we'll see you soon. All right, see you.